that we gave American Express cards to everyone.
Who have no ties to New York City, New York State, or this country. Do you think he did the right thing? And they're charged with felonies.
Yeah, it is. You'll see here, this is the Roosevelt Hotel. This is the Welcome Center. Inside, it does.
Police raided a house overnight in the Bronx and arrested 3 suspects who they say are behind a string of pickpockets.
That brutal attack just further proof, as the most recent stats show, that assaults on officers are on the rise.
Criticism of a new $50 million program to hand out prepaid debit cards to migrant families.
Announcing the 151-count indictment of 33 alleged gang members.
Attack on police. The New York Police Department reports that 2 aggressive migrants who were seen on camera kicking and stomping 2 police officers during the brutal attack in Times Square late last month have not been taken into custody and are still at loose.
That we gave American Express cards to everyone.
I mean, it's just sad that that had to happen, but today we have justice for the family.
It says it's hard for police to even authenticate a suspect's name or date of birth. We're live in Chinatown.
In the disturbing incident where a group of undocumented immigrants kicked and battered NYPD officers in the area of the New Amsterdam Theater, a well-liked tourist attraction, the culprits have not yet been taken into custody. One immigrant is seen in police-released videos on Wednesday sporting a white baseball cap, black sneakers, black jeans, and a red hoodie. Police said in the now viral video of the attack, the migrant stomps on the head of a lieutenant while the officer is attempting to arrest a suspect on the ground. After giving the other officer a backward kick, the migrant turns around and kicks the lieutenant. The second immigrant is pictured with a red baseball cap, blue pants, sneakers, and a dark-colored puffer coat. He's seen kicking the lieutenant in the head quite forcefully. As he tries to kick, the migrant collapses to the ground. Widespread outcry was prompted by the video and another that showed one of the immigrants giving the finger after being freed. A number of individuals who were previously detained were freed on bond and have since left the state, prompting some Republican politicians in New York to demand the resignation of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
Who have no ties to New York City, New York State, or this country. Do you think he did the right thing? And they're charged with felonies.
No one has answered any questions I had. They just gave me a ticket with my number in line.
Of migrants that is happening in New York City. And right now, let's go out to...
This term migrant crisis is ever developing. We know that there have been reports.
According to Bragg, his department continues to work with law enforcement to bring everyone responsible for these heinous attacks to justice. The first 4 people to be detained and released were Andre Gomez, 19, Wilson Juarez, 21, Calvin Servita Aroca, 19, and Yorman Revron, 24. According to the police, they left town and traveled to California. The 22-year-old Joan Boada was later taken into custody, freed, and then gave the finger to awaiting media. In the same instance, Yoenri Brito, 24, and Jandri Barros, 21, were also taken into custody. A grand jury indicted Brito in connection with the attack on the cops. Barros hasn't been charged with any offense related to the attack. Days after the incident, Yorber Martinez, 19, was taken into custody on suspicion of disorderly conduct, obstructing traffic, and possessing a controlled narcotic when he got into an argument with passing police outside the Roosevelt Hotel. Martinez seemed to show the cops a video of the attack. The day before, Martinez was observed laughing and grinning as he left the police station with Boada, who was brandishing his middle fingers. Martinez doesn't seem to have participated in the Times Square attack on the cops. The vicious attacks coincide with an increase in violent crimes committed by undocumented immigrants in the Big Apple, while taxpayers continue to foot the bill for the food and shelter of about 67,000 migrants at various shelters, while funding for other services is being cut. For example, Chalkbeat reports that the cafeteria menu has eliminated student favorites, including cookies, chicken dumplings, and burritos, due to a $60 million cut to the city's food budget. A migrant crime gang is depicted in a video that was made public this week from December, dragging a woman along the street in New York City, seizing her pocketbook, and sending her flying into a steel pole before scurrying off. A 26-year-old Palestinian immigrant is being prosecuted in New York for hate crimes after authorities claim he punched a homeowner to the ground while shouting anti-Semitic epithets and took the homeowner's Israeli and American flags from his yard. It happens at the same time as New York City Mayor Eric Adams is requesting the state's new budget that $4.6 billion be set aside to address the illegal immigration epidemic.
Yeah, it is. You'll see here, this is the Roosevelt Hotel. This is the Welcome Center. Inside, it does...
a part of a sophisticated criminal enterprise made up of migrants who have recently arrived in the United States.
Migrants, asylum seekers who are here, overwhelmingly, many are here just want the same thing all of our families want.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Adrian Edward appeared on behalf of Wilson Morris.
Since 2022, more than 170,000 immigrants have reached New York City. Adams said that the federal government never consented to the plan that officials had believed would divide the crisis's cost equally among the federal, state, and local governments. The Biden administration has allotted about $150 million in government spending thus far. Of the $2.4 billion that New York Governor Kathy Hochul has already promised to provide, roughly $1.3 billion will go toward building expansive migrant tent shelters on Queens, Randall's Island, and Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn. The cost of housing, food, and other services for the migrants under the city's care will come to about $1.1 billion. According to a source, the city is set to initiate a $53 million trial program that would provide prepaid credit cards to migrant families residing in hotels. Calls to deport migrants. There's growing demand to deport the asylum seekers accused of beating police officers in Times Square as the NYPD searches for 6 additional suspects. 6 of the 12 migrants engaged in the incident on Saturday, according to the NYPD, are still wanted. After 6 arrests, only 1 is currently incarcerated. The others were released. There's no respect for the law among those who attacked New York City police officers. How are we going to protect the people in the neighborhoods if we're not protected? Asked Patrick Hendry, president of the Police Benevolent Association.
Police raided a house overnight in the Bronx and arrested 3 suspects who they say are behind a string of pickpockets.
Why did these 4 individuals be released on their own recovery?
That started back in November.
They released this horrific video of a woman being dragged.
Officials say consisted of 62 robberies where the robbers are accused of sneaking up on their unsuspecting victims.
Yohenry Brito, 24, was ordered to be imprisoned on $15,000 bond for second-degree attack and impeding governmental administration. He's suspected of instigating the altercation and wearing a shirt that proclaimed "Work hard in court." 4 individuals were released on their own recognizance, including migrants who had been arrested twice before for shoplifting. Governor Kathy Hochul urged their deportation, stating that they should keep police officers safe. The men gave false identities to a church organization that arranges bus tickets as part of a migrant resettlement program. They're not expected back in court until February 20th for a hearing, so the NYPD has no immediate plans to find them. A bench warrant for their arrest will be issued if they fail to appear. A 7th person is apprehended by the police, but the DA decided not to press charges against him due to insufficient evidence, and therefore he was released. The officer who was attacked is banged up, has a shoulder injury, and will require a lengthy recuperation process. Those arrested thus far might spend up to 7 years in prison if found guilty.
It's a question as to what is being done within the criminal justice system to not only keep officers safe.
That were attacked, they did have minor injuries, I should say, and they were treated at the scene.
Since several of the people who were arrested were released, the Times Square attack on the police has become a political football for the governor, Mayor Eric Adams, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and the legal system. Staten Island Representative Nicole Maliotakis believes the mayor has to work to deport these individuals. Additional information about the individuals in the group detained on suspicion of hitting NYPD police on Saturday night when they were attempting to disperse a throng outside a migrant shelter in Times Square became available on Thursday. It's unconscionable that individuals are here, they're committing crimes, and that our city is protecting them from deportation, Maliotakis stated. 2 police officers are seen fighting with a man in an NYPD video, while many individuals alternatively hit and kick a lieutenant and another officer in the head and body. According to Maliotakis, one reason they haven't been deported is because of a statute that was passed during Bill de Blasio's mayoral, which forbids the NYPD and local officials from assisting federal immigration authorities.
Criticism of a new $50 million program to hand out prepaid debit cards to migrant families.
Charges have been filed against a suspect accused of hitting an NYPD officer in the head with a glass.
Tried to press him, and other reporters tried to press him on that issue as well, but he was not interested in talking to any of us.
In the recent months in particular, according to the authorities, there's been an influx of single men.
Adams should be working to overturn Bill de Blasio's law that's protecting people who've been committing crimes from deportations, he stated. An Adams spokesperson stated, the men and women of the NYPD put single day working tirelessly to keep us and our streets safe, refusing to discuss the legal standing of individuals accused of the attack. Any form of crime, including that directed at our officers, is intolerable and ought to be dealt with harshly under the law. Camille Joseph Varlak, Adams' chief of staff, was asked the question by CBS New York. I think that they should go through the criminal justice system, and if convicted, yeah, I think they should be deported, said Varlak. Hochul was asked if she thought deporting the guilty was a good idea. That's definitely something that has to be investigated, in my opinion, Hochul stated. It's definitely worth looking into. If someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York and they're not here legally.
Announcing the 151-count indictment of 33 alleged gang members.
What makes this case particularly difficult to crack is a lot of these suspected migrants involved have little paper.
Most of them don't speak English and don't know what to do. As many were told at the border they'll get shelter in New York.
Men have been charged in connection to that brutal attack caught on camera, and the NYPD is still looking for more suspects.
Now that the Albany Republicans are behind Hochul, they're asking that she use her executive authority to send National Guard troops to the borders of Canada and Texas in order to halt the influx of illegal immigrants. She added, though, that they would be far better off urging the Republican legislators in Washington to back border reform. And that's going to do it for this video. See you guys next time, and bye for now.